Most only know Nicholas Winding Refn from his films Bronson, The Neon Demon, and Drive. And to be honest, that's a shame considering his early work is some of his best, which is why I wanted to recommend his Pusher trilogy. It's hard to believe that those films are made by the same guy who made Only God Forgives and Valhalla Rising. Every action by the characters in the trilogy is grounded in reality and feels genuine. The violence is done in a way that makes it look natural. It feels ugly, fresh, and unrehearsed. Just look at this scene. Each film focuses on one of the characters from the original film. Pusher follows Frank, a drug dealer. Pusher with Blood on My Hands follows his friend Tony. And Pusher I Am the Angel of Death follows Frank's supplier. Each entry of the trilogy feels like you're hanging out with the criminals before, after, and during crimes. The film has a level of tension that's rarely seen in films. The camera work and editing is a bit sloppy, but the narrative of the film is so captivating that you hardly notice the errors. The film is about Frank, a drug dealer who, due to a deal gone wrong, owes a lot of money to a guy you really don't want to owe a lot of money to. We follow his scramble to come up with the money. I know the plot sounds generic, but it's rare that you see a film that pulls off this sense of urgency that's really needed to make a film like this great. There isn't a single performance in this film that's bad. You could really feel Frank's desperation just off the actor's performance. The main antagonist of the film's performance is great. Perfect mixture between warmth and intimidation. Frank, as the film progresses, gets increasingly desperate. The film puts you in his head, and I think that's what's so great about this trilogy. In each movie, we get dropped into the character's emotional state. If you don't like this one, chances are you won't like the rest of the trilogy. In the second film, we follow Tony, who really just wants some reassurance and positive feedback from anyone, and yet he can't even get it from his own father. He jumps at every possibility to impress his father, yet it doesn't work. Just look at this scene where Tony tells his dad that he just found out that he has a kid.
Så nu skal jeg sgu til at være far.
Det er godt for dig.
Ja.
Instead of congratulating him, his father probably thought, great, now I have to deal with this. People expect the worst from Tony, and sometimes it's justified, but other times it's just the world that's constantly fucking him. Tony is boxed in by his previous fuck-ups, and no one is willing to let up on him. The further in the film we get, the more trapped in he is, and the more his anger continues to build until he finally releases it. My only gripe with the film is that there are times where the synth score feels incredibly out of place, and some minor sound issues. While it isn't as great as the first film, it's still definitely worth the watch due to a great performance by a young Mads Mikkelsen. The third Pusher film, I Am the Angel of Death, is vastly different from the other two. Much like The Sopranos, the film covers the mundanity and countless problems that a boss of a criminal enterprise has to deal with. However, unlike The Sopranos, this film focuses more on the small aspects that most gangster films gloss over. It even shows the prep that goes into getting rid of a dead body. The lead performance rivals Mads Mikkelsen's as the best of the trilogy. You can see his frustration at the fact that he's under somebody's thumb.
Ligger lige pattegris steg.
Laver du pis med mig, eller hvad? Den er måske halal-slagt, eller hvad?
Whoops, det har jeg glemt at tjekke.
Så tjek næste gang, hva'?
In a way, his character is a mixture of all three of the leads from each film. The film serves as an examination of an aging gangster who is becoming less threatening, as his clout in the underworld isn't what it used to be. This is due to his inability to adapt to the younger generations. It's a perfect end to a trilogy that at its heart is an examination of violent men who have no control over their impending doom.